The basic approach is that we need to have a dual withdrawal. And by dual, I mean military and corporate. We have gone into Iraq and essentially taken over their economy. We've remade the economy for our corporate interests. It is in many ways, the laws in Iraq are better for our corporations than the laws in the United States. No unions are allowed. No prosecutions of U.S. People of the United States are allowed. And a whole range of Bremer's 100 orders that have essentially remade the economy. So I think getting out, first off, is announcing that we are doing a dual withdrawal, and we're going to do it immediately. And when you announce that, you do one important thing. You tell the Iraqi people they're going to get their economy and their government and their country back. And that's a major thing to tell them. And when you do that, you then take the mainstream Iraqi out of the insurgency, out of the resistance, because they know they're going to get their country back. And so that's a major, by announcing that, we make a major change. The second thing I would say would be, what does immediate mean? Immediate means in a managed and responsible way. And I fear that if we don't take and that'll probably take 4 to 6 months, maybe 4 months is a good guess. And if we don't take a managed way, what we're going to see is like how it ended in Vietnam. You know, the last person to grab the last helicopter is the last one to get out. And what's left behind is a mess. But if we instead do a managed exit over 4 to 6 months, we can then go through that truth and reconciliation process I mentioned, and that can be something that's talked about openly, and we can weaken the insurgency by giving Iraq their country back, and that's a gigantic difference. And then I think we also, part of the managed exits and responsible exit is to, and part of the truth and reconciliation process, to recognize the mistakes we made and pay for the damage we did. You know, it's always interesting, this this Pottery Barn analogy. You know, you break it, you own it, and you know, you go into Pottery Barn, you break something, you pay for it and leave. You don't stay there and destroy the store. And that's what we're doing. And now that we destroyed the store, we got to pay for that. And so I think part of the truth and reconciliation process is to recognize the damage we did. You know, Iraq rebuilt themselves quite well after the Gulf War. Very effectively. You know, we always, the United States tends to look down on the Middle East as if they're inferior people, when in fact these are ancient civilizations with all sorts of skills and fantastic culture, and instead we look down on them. And so I think if we would just accept responsibility and pay for the damage we did, we'd make a tremendous difference. Then the final question is whether there should be some kind of peacekeeping force, and really that's not a question for us. That's a question for the Iraqi government. And I think what role we could play is, first off, not to provide the troops for it, because our being there is self-defeating. We cannot win the hearts and minds of Iraqis after what we've done in Iraq, getting in and how we've operated there. We cannot win their hearts and minds. We cannot bring stability to that country. And every day we stay there, everything we fear gets more likely. Whether it's theocracy, terrorism, civil war, it gets more likely every day we're there. So getting out is critical to getting things right. But we may have to help to fund a peacekeeping force, whether it's UN or whether it's regional. That I think is something that's not our decision to make. But so I think a responsible exit means taking responsibility and leaving in a managed way.